Hi, and welcome to another steel guitar coaching session. In this session, Naomi and we sort of explore a bunch of different things. It's a bit of a Q&A. I sort of demonstrate a thing. We kind of talk about some of the obstacles she's been facing when she's going out there and playing, or maybe she's transcribing. She's starting to get some gigs, playing with different folks here and there. And so having that added experience of, okay, now you're playing with other folks and you're in it real time trying to make music on the steel guitar. Um, she kind of highlights a few of her obstacles and different things that she wants to be able to incorporate into her playing. And so we sort of start to look at how to tackle those challenges and how to make that a reality. Um, the first part of the lesson, which if you were following along from the last session, she was going to do another transcription. This time, the transcription was going to be of Rudy Tutti, the Jerry Byrd transcription. So you'll notice in the beginning of the video, she's sort of showing me what she has so far. We're going to spend a little bit more time on that and circle back to that in the next session. And we'll break down and analyze the solo, Jerry Byrd's solo on Rudy Tutti, another 12 bar blues from Hank Williams. Um, so, at any rate, some of the other things that we talk about, we kind of talk about a width and breadth of things. It's mostly, again, her challenges that she's facing. We highlight on some different things that both Don and Jerry might have done, um, and talk more specifically about how to things that you can practice and ways to create your own practice exercises once you've diagnosed certain things that you've had an issue with. So in this particular episode, we end up talking about pick blocking versus palm blocking a bit, how you can um, take something like a forward roll and then teach your hands how to do part of that move on the same string where your fingers are sharing a string to then create a little run. So there's, instead of just playing three strings consecutively, you can uh, expand it out. So jump in. I'll try and have some chapters down below so you can kind of skate around and if you don't want to follow along with the whole thing. But enjoy. And then again, next week, we're going to come back and take a look at Rudy Tutti. All right. And like I said, always, if you have any questions, just leave a comment down below.
Ah. Yeah. I like how that's the part I messed up.
Yeah, I mean it sounded pretty good. You're getting the bones of stuff,
Yeah, I just need to like solidify it, and then I need to listen to that part in the
Is
middle.
that the whole solo, or is it just a chunk of it?
That was the solo, but I need to learn like the intro.
Oh,
is there two solos in that
yeah.
song too?
No, it's just the one.
No, it's just the one.
There's okay. I thought there was two for some reason, but yeah.
Yeah, so when he does that little part, just you got to make sure that you don't mute in between, because he's playing that all liquid. He's keeping the bar down the whole time.
Oh, see, I'm so used to muting stuff in fear of it sounding slight.
Yeah, something more like that. Like a good rule of thumb is if you're doing anything Jerry Byrd,
slidey.
Like I would guess more often than not, he might have been sliding into it, and there might not have been muting happening.
Because I'm so used to playing like Don Helms stuff for my dad, but I like Caden. I'm on like a huge Caden Roberts kick right now.
Oh yeah? Well, what do you got from Caden? What are you working on there?
Well, I was watching a video of him playing, I think when he was a lot older. he had the one with the little Canada thing,
Sure,
so
yeah.
name on the front of it, and he's just
Stoneway.
insane. And then you know what? What other solo I want to learn? I want to learn that one in that live Hank 3. Why Don't You Leave Me Alone? I want to learn that one. That one was really good. And then there was a video of him playing somewhere else, just live. But I don't know. I've been on a
Maybe it was
huge.
Rob McNerlin or something. He's
Yeah.
older.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the guy and the other guy had the Emmons, the black Emmons, and I just need to like turn those on and just play to him. You know what I mean? But I've messed around with it a little bit. You know, not put anything into like play yet, but that would be like, and that's the kind of stuff that Alex is telling me. Like, you need to learn this kind of stuff. You know, like. You start doing like Jerry Byrd stuff.
Yeah, I mean, kind of once you crack the code on Don Helms and you kind of figure out what's going on, it can show you some things musically, and it's not super complex. So, but it's you know they said country music is 3 chords and the truth. Well, Don Helms played the truth. You know, it was just like, this is it. And
so that's why
right here.
Yeah, that was so good for me to start with. You know what I mean?
And if you want to crack the code on guys like Caton, or to even really start to figure out how to make these like faux pedal sounds on lap steel, it's all about Jerry Byrd. And you know, Caton was probably most influenced by Jerry Byrd. So much so, in fact, that Caton Roberts wrote the song "Chime In," and he sent it to Jerry Byrd and said, "Hey." He sent that and a couple other songs to him. And he said, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And Jerry Byrd liked to chime in so much that he recorded it, which is like, that's kind of crazy for steel guitar instrumentals. Who's writing a steel guitar instrumental to get somebody else to play it?
Yeah.
You know what? When is that happening? Well, back then when the recording was how it was. At any rate, Jerry Byrd's the next business. Chris Scruggs had hipped me to a couple of guys named Zeke and Zeb Turner. There's a bunch of their records that you can tell Jerry Byrd's playing steel guitar on. And he kind of does he takes some wacky, weird solos that are utilizing a lot of those sort of 3-string slants. Similar stuff to what we've been doing, but he might kind of do it over other changes, or he might add some, we'll just say, chromaticism to the business, and it sounds pretty out.
I don't know if I've ever heard
and
that.
It might be worth transcribing, because it's sort of still in that same vein of like traditional honky tonk, but it's, you know, more Jerry Byrd, and he's not necessarily playing with Hank.
Yeah, I need to listen to those. I think I've heard a couple of them, but I need to like get them on my playlist. You know.
Also, if you listen to what Jerry Byrd does when he's playing with Hank, it's very different than how Don Helms is. When you hear Don Helms playing with the Hank band, and you listen to the fiddle at the same time, and you try to understand whose role, like who's doing what, you'll almost never hear the steel guitar comp and then the steel guitar take a solo. It's like whoever's comping, there's only one person, the other person's laying out completely, almost always. And so it's like you'd hear Hank singing and steel guitar, or Hank singing and fiddle, you know, taking the fills or whatever. And then whoever's not taking the fills, that's who's about to solo.
Versus like you comping and then go to a solo.
When you hear Jerry Byrd playing, he's not doing like a call and response. He's not waiting for Hank to stop singing. He's just kind of going. He's just sort of, it's almost like Dixieland music, where like the trombone and the trumpet, they're kind of going, but they're not so stated in the mix. They know how to like back off and not get in his way. But he's playing all kind of crazy stuff, you know, while Hank is singing, you know. So it's a completely different style of comping, and it can be difficult to hear what he's playing because he's back in the mix, because of the recording technology from the time, because Hank is also singing. So that's going to be a harder transcription, but it might be worth, going in to at least get an idea.
Yeah.
Hear some of the rhythms and, what's he doing? Is he playing single notes? Is he playing chords? Is he doing both? Or is he just all over the place?
Right.
So I take it by now you probably can tell the difference when you're listening to Jerry versus Don or somebody who's trying to replicate them.
It is weird though, because it is kind of night and day. After you realize it.
Once you're familiar with it, you can't not hear it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, what the heck should we work on then?
Do you have more technique?
More technique. I mean, the technique never stops. We always work on technique.
I knew you'd say something like that.
Yeah. Well, let's start with this. Maybe what you've been playing a lot more lately. If you had to say like 3 biggest obstacles that you're finding, like the hang-ups in your playing?
I need more licks, or I need to know like things I can do to like, so it doesn't sound so. I want every, this is why steel guitars, I like it so much, is because you can make, like if you're taking multiple solos, you can make them sound so different. I feel like I just need, I don't know. I feel like maybe just making sure, like obviously slants and stuff, I don't think you'll ever have to stop practicing those, probably, right? You probably will never have to stop practicing those.
Yeah, I mean, you just get closer and closer to, better intonation every time you, it's so sort of an infinite process. Stuff like
that. And then there's some grips that I'm better at than others because I've just practiced them more. So probably being able to like switch, or probably, I don't know, like I can do like forward rolls better than I can backwards rolls and stuff like that. Like, and then
okay, that's pretty natural, but yeah, that also tells you right there. Should you practice your backwards rolls? Yes.
Right. And then yeah, probably that mostly. Just I'm always like, I need more licks, but really I just need to like play more. You know what I mean? I need to just do it.
Well, I can show you something I'm working on, which is like, again, it's very exercise heavy. It's not so much, I would say, lick based, where it's less about what I'm not specifically trying to do something musically, although it did kind of spawn out of that. I was having trouble playing a line with Anthony on there's a song that Deke Dickerson wrote called Misshapen Hillbilly Gal, very comedic song, but he plays it with the Lucky Stars, and there's these twin guitar lines, and they're kind of quick and it's cooking, and I was like, how the heck do I pick this thing fast enough? And I realized sitting down with Anthony that I needed to like sit down and figure out sort of new ways to pick things. And so if you remember, we've done lots of exercises where, you'd kind of do your forward rolls, your backward rolls, maybe alternating different fingers and moving across the strings, right? And then maybe incorporating the left hand as well to just make the practice a little more interesting. So it's not super boring, Can you hear the guitar okay? You hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, doing your things where you're like starting at the bottom and you're going your forward roll. Or, you could do your backwards rolls or whatever. And we would let them ring out, and then we would also mute them like. something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, another thing,
you
I want to
can-
get really good at like single note stuff because that's cool.
Okay. Well, that's sort of what we're talking about right now. So you can do a forward roll. Forward roll is a very important thing. Backwards roll. All of these moves are very important. Also, because not just because you can play them on all separate strings. Like for example, if I have my thumb first and second, I should probably switch the camera. What is easier here? Maybe something like this. Maybe. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Let me move this. You can see this okay?
Yeah.
All right, 1 second. Let me change this real quick. I'm gonna move this down just slightly. There, something like that. You can see that a little better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we put this under here, see the strings a little bit better, maybe. Right. You can take a forward roll, thumb, first finger, second finger, and you can do that all on the same string. And that can help you to articulate different things. So like if you were playing a triplet, you could, and triplet 1, triplet 2. I'm in the wrong key. I'm gonna move this out of the way, it's in the way. Just different things like that. So specifically the thing I was working on, and again, I use an extra finger pick. So I've got 4, but I was working on doing a forward roll where I would I start the forward roll on my third finger or my middle finger, and I go. So I was trying to get that up to speed, where you're sort of hitting these 2 notes at a time, but you're hitting or 2 strings twice, So instead of hitting the same right hand finger twice, striking it twice, I was trying to find a way to alternate. And you could do that with 3 fingers by doing something along the lines of, let's say I start with, so I would go index, so anyways, the idea is there's a lot of utility in doing like a forward roll or something, learning an alternating picking pattern, and then learning how to cram your fingers together, because that's what it feels like. It's cramming your fingers
It does,
together,
yeah.
to share a string. And the position that you hold your hand in is a little different and so starting with something super simple like we've done before, where
because I noticed that some guys will use like their middle finger and their thumb for that.
Yeah, I think that one's actually a little harder to do when you're sharing a string.
I think so too, yeah.
But you can put 4 fingers on the same string. I mean, it's all possible. Anyways, obviously it takes a lot of practice to get it clean, to get it finessed,
yeah.
But it's all possible. And if you want to look at somebody who's, kind of living proof of all that, and he teaches that in his method, look at Joe Wright. Wright with a W. Joe Wright. It's the guy I told you when you were like, I need picking patterns and stuff. He's got
yeah.
videos and videos, and you can't find them just by searching on YouTube. You have to go to sierrasteels.com, and all
That's
of his
right.
stuff is on there. And he's probably got 20 videos on E9, and he's got another 12 on lap steel, and then he's got another 11 on,
He got
universal
some other
B9
too or something.
and all of his stuff, before he's talking about licks and before he's talking about what you need to be able to play, he's talking about if you want to be able to play something, if you have an idea, you have to be able to strike the strings with your right hand, and you have to be able to mute them when you want to mute them, and that might mean muting them palm, and that might mean muting them with a pick. Or a finger, or it might mean muting it with your left thumb or your whatever.
This is a good question. Is there? I feel like I might have asked you this before, but is there a way to make like pick blocking quieter? Because and I don't know if there is. If there's not,
take your treble knob and try to go down a little bit.
Because
don't open it up as much.
Right.
Take your finger picks off. Then it'll be quieter.
Some people play with it. Yeah. That was just a random question because someone was like, I can hear finger picks on the recording. I'm like, well, that's because I'm using finger picks to record it.
Yeah. I would say a lot of that's probably trying to dial in tone. You're not going to hear it as much through the amp. So if you're trying to record something, maybe put the mic closer to the amp.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to hear it somewhat.
Right.
It's not as bad with a plastic, like your plastic thumb pick. It's going to be more like the more I turn the treble up right here, you can hear the chink, chink way as soon as you. You can hear that. But if I turn it down and kind of get it to where the tone just opens up, still kind of hear it. I don't know. That's really kind of the best I can suggest for it. If you're reliant on finger picking a passage, maybe see if you can learn how to play it palm muting. I tend to prefer the sound I get when I palm mute something.
Me too.
Some passages that it's, pick muting is maybe necessary. I don't know. Maybe not.
I think it's more of a pedal steel thing for some reason.
I don't think so. I think it's just, maybe people figured out finger pick muting later on when the development of steel guitar was going later. They moved out of like the traditional palm muting or whatever.
So
but I think just people were trying to figure out how to play the instrument and how to get it to sound good. And at the end of the day, if it sounds good, it is good. Here's another thing you can do if you're trying to work on your palm muting. So what you can do is practice like alternating thumb and first finger. And so just like taking an exercise like we did before where you would go start at the bottom and go across and then come back, just go thumb one, thumb one, thumb one. And so you're trying to mute it in between. So you would bounce a little bit as you would go across. And so you could do doubles or you could do, something like that, where you just go straight across.
It sounds like the beginning of that song from Twilight.
What's that?
That sounds like the beginning of that song from Twilight.
I don't know that one. But so one of the instrumentals I've been playing recently, there's like a line where I think I prefer, you know, to do, instead of trying to pick the passage, it would be on like the first 4 strings, that fret, it'd be where B flat is, so it'd be a fret 10. Oh shoot, it's in the key of A. It's in a different tuning though. But anyways, here would be the idea. I'll play the idea a third lower if I can. It would be like, and so I could play that 1, 2, 3, 4 and just pick it with, like pick blocking, but I haven't been able to get a sound that I like doing that. So I started practicing. Can I just go, you know? How does the line go? It's, oh, that's what it is. So well, you could do that with just picking. You know, and maybe there's a little of economy of movement there, because I just have to get each finger to do its thing,
Right.
which is one way to do it. But if I'm okay with being a little more active, I don't know. So
it's like bouncier to get.
Yeah, so I would say as an exercise, maybe try to, you can kind of think of it as like start at the top and then see if you can go down 4 strings. You know, go thumb, index. I'm at the 10th fret.
Dang it.
So just start at the top. Let's go a little simpler. Just start at the top with your thumb, and you're on the first string. No. What was that? How did you just pick that? You just did that with your index finger. You went. What was it? You go thumb, index, thumb,
Wait, what?
index, thumb, index. You're alternating thumb and first finger. Let's see it. Start with the thumb.
Can you see it?
Right. So you want to, yeah, I can see it. So try to have some time with it, you know, like a steady, even time. And if that's too fast, just
Versus
try to let it ring until the last possible second. Try to get as long a note as you can. So you want when you palm block, I would say more often than not, you want to palm block at the very instant that you strike the next string.
So like right as you're going down, just like
you want that moment to be is the exact same moment as you can. If I slow it down, what you don't want to hear is, you don't want there to be like that intermittent silence
in
there.
between.
I would say there's maybe a time for that, where maybe you're playing a slower song and you're trying to cut something off. You know, you want to cut a note short. I would say generally that's the easier thing to do.
Right.
The harder thing is
just the way your hand is. Like,
particularly when you're playing quickly, give a note its full value.
Right.
All right, so see if you can take that down all the strings. And then try, that's kind of a swing rhythm. See if you can play that with just a straight rhythm.
Oh, dang it.
All right, now do the same thing. And then this time start with the index finger instead of starting with the thumb. You like that swing rhythm, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, dang it. There.
So these are some little exercises that you can start to do.
Well, it makes sense
Just go
because if you think
just go
about
down
like
and up.
if you can't control the time you're holding a note out, how much can you really control? You know what I mean? That's a good point that you bring up.
Yeah, yeah, and you look and you can practice these things in these small ways, and then you'll notice in your playing that you can become more intentional, and you can have, you know, that facility.
Yeah.
And you know, going all the way down and all the way back, that's probably not so much in a song. That's probably not so much a lick, but going down a few strings, and then coming back up a couple strings, that's probably a lick in a song, you know? So, you know, you know, so you can do those kinds of things. You know, those are, I feel like, where you're going to start to find your licks, even just using that specific mechanical thing.
Right. So so that's another good point that you bring up, like when you're palm muting or palm blocking or whatever. Like, I guess since our hands are kind of like this, like I kind of like slant my hand. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like naturally, it kind of like.
Well, I mean, look at how my hand is here.
Yeah.
If I just keep my hand in exactly the same position and I rotate it up, these two fingers are curled under, and they help to mute as well. So what I'm not doing is I'm not like this. You know, I don't stick these two fingers out. I curl them under, like, kind of significantly.
I always have my pinky out like this. That's because I have a weird.
Well, try curling them under. Try getting like this. If you can look at the top-down view, I've got mine like that. And partially that's because right here on this part of my hand, you know, if you can see on that right side there, like there's sort of a divot. And so I noticed if I keep my hands straight, maybe sometimes the top strings will ring out. Yeah, I feel like people's hands naturally kind of face that way. So try curling your fingers under. I thought that was like taboo. I thought you weren't supposed to do that. And Chris Scruggs was like, "No, dude, just put them under there." And I was like, "Oh."
I know. I thought that was like bad, weird.
No, it's not a bad technique. It's good. I mean, if it helps you to, you know. Now I've even heard people talking about taking this finger or this other finger and holding them under the strings when they don't want those strings to ring. You know, if they need some as kind of an anchor point. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
I haven't found a use case for that yet, but I said, okay, all right. Maybe there's something there. You know, maybe you want to play. You just want to mute those strings. You know, do some Bobby Kofer. I bet you he did that a lot. That's actually probably a good idea. You know, mute a couple of strings here, mute them with your left thumb right there. Then you can. I don't know. I bet you there's something there. There's some chord work.
And then also what I've been on a kick of right now is when people like play it like open and then like hammer it on, like kind of like hammer on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, Hammer-Ons are good.
Like I've been on
a let's see if we can find the other view here. So you could, I'm down here at the 1st fret, but you can. That's something that what's his name would do a lot, Caden. So he would do the 4th string, but he would actually do it in that other tuning where he'd go. Which, if you're playing C6 pedal steel, is your 5th pedal. Takes the G and goes to F sharp. So he would, and that's that 9 sound, which is the whole Jerry Byrd thing and the whole Don Helms thing that we were talking about before. That chord. It's your minor over the 5th of the other chord. So, what I always forget what key this one's in. Or is it? I think maybe that's it. Something like that. That's a Caden thing, where you're taking, you know, he would do that string pull from this minor tuning, which is A minor 6, A, C, E, F sharp.
Okay, so you said
the C,
5th, right?
goes to C sharp, or I mean, whatever. You know, you pull the C string and it goes to C sharp. Then you have the major 3rd there, and you have an A6 tuning.
Playing playing that the pedal steel is insane because, well, one, it has 2 more strings.
Number of strings doesn't really matter so much. I think the weird thing to get used to is that the at least on the E9 is that they're out of order.
Yeah.
And my theory is the guy, you know, Buddy and all the guys, they already knew how to play without those strings, and so they didn't want to put them in there because it was going to screw them up. They'd have to relearn. So they said, all right, I'll just learn how to grab them when I want them.
Yeah.
You know,
because I would like some things translate.
Anyway, I don't know.
But it's weird. It's hard to explain, but it's like you just have to feel it out. Does that make sense? Like you just have to kind of feel it out because some things are so insanely easier. Like you can just go to like a 1-4-5 and you don't even have to move.
Yeah. You can do it all right here. You know?
And to me, that's insane because it's like
you get lots of options at every. You can do an entire major scale on an E9 at one fret. You know,
like
you have to, you know which pedals and levers to do. No, it's very nice. You know, with just a couple pedals and you raise your E to F knee lever, you can do an entire major scale of chords in 4 notes. You know, it's very, very cool stuff.
It is weird also having a boo-wah. Like I'm always talking about boo-wah, but like the idea that it can go down too is so interesting to me. Like
you got boo-wah on that one right there.
The sound of this is so much different. You know what I mean? It sounds so.
You got a boo-wah on yours right there. You got it strung up for it. You got that low A down there, right?
Yep.
You got to take your low C and raise it to C sharp.
You said make the lowest one a C sharp?
The low C needs to get raised to C sharp to do the boo-wah. Because then you have A7 on the bottom of the guitar. That's how Caden did it.
Because I think I had it that way at first. Like this bottom string was really loose.
And then you messed it all up. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
No, I actually did. Like I had, when the guy tuned this guitar and gave it to me, my buddy Anthony, he like he changed the strings and gave it back to me, and he was playing with it, and I was like, well, and at first, because I didn't know much at first, and I'm like, what did you do to this bottom string? Why is it like this? And he's like,
Well, he
like,
actually he learned from Caden. You know that, right? He took
Anthony?
lessons with Caden. Yeah.
Dang. Lucky.
Dang.
Spoiled brat.
Yeah, he probably set you up straight. He probably
He did. He
right.
set me up straight, and I'm like, you messed it up. I'm over there like, you messed it up. And he's like, girl, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds about
But now,
right.
so now I'm like, can you? So now it's funny. I'm gonna be like, now I'm gonna have the same tuning. That's so annoying of me.
But yeah, you can get kind of those funky sort of boo-wah type things when you have that low A and you retune the bottom C to C sharp. Okay. I can't really do that on this one. I can go in unison, and then.
Oh yeah.
You know, you can get those. What is it? But it sounds way better when you got the low A.
Yeah.
Oh, I turned this one down to. It's like.
Because that's what I need. Because if
you know, you can do that with your low A. Oh,
that's what I need for like boogie stuff. You know what I mean?
You need boogie stuff. That's what you need to be able to do.
I need
Well, I mean, that's how you do that. Is you have your C6 regular tuning. Just tune the low C to C sharp, and then you have A. You know, you'd have an octave down here. I'm just at a unison, but when you go all the way across. You got a A7 tuning when you take that, you know, and then you can. You know, Caden was doing stuff like that. What did he do? He did what's that tune? Was it? And then what was it?
That's awesome. Now I'm gonna keep it like that forever.
What was it? Yeah. And then yeah. And then he went. Something like that. That's the Opryland swing. He uses that whole on the bridge where it's like I think it's 4-1-2-5. So he goes, and that's in the key of E. So he's up there at A flat, G sharp or something, or maybe it's 3-6-2-5. Yeah, G sharp would be 3 in the key of. So that would be. It's normally it'd be a B, but you're at the 11th fret in A, so it's G sharp. And then you go down back to your original. And that's a 6 now because you're on your A side of your guitar. And you go up 2 frets below the other one. and then you can play your little melody again. Yeah, he uses that with that big old fat bass string, and you can kind of get some.
I can't believe you never told me that before. Did you tell me that
there
before?
Yet. You didn't even have Don Helms yet. What were you going to do with that big old string down there?
I'm so happy about this right now. That's just like, it's going to stay like that now.
That's what that's for. He uses it on Caden's Rag too. He does that. I'll just play it without it, but. Man, this thing's out of tune. Oh, I gotta tune this one. Where did I put it? There it is. What's Caden's Rag again? And he uses the big fat string right here.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Dude, you're so good at that song.
Well, I practiced it for several years. And if you want to do that one on the pedal steel, just push down pedal 5 on your C6.
You're not even kidding.
No, I'm not. And if you can get a low A on your 10 string, which you could do by, I don't know, does one of them go to low A? Usually it's C, F, C. Is there another pedal that takes the low C to A? Down to A?
There's one that...
Because the low C would need to go down a major third. It might be pedal 8. See if pedal 8 changes, 7 or 8 might change the low C needs to go to A. One of them makes it like an A guitar. One of them...
What?
Volume pedal.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it has a volume pedal.
You need this note. But an octave lower. So does the C go down to A? The low C? Sounds like it's going up to a D. 7 or 8. Maybe 6? I don't know.
I can't play pedal steel. Stop laughing at me.
Here, play pedal 5. Play your... What's on the top there? You got a G or a D on the top?
D.
D? Okay, so just, Naomi, just skip the top string. And the top string that you're going to be used to playing is... Yeah, that's the tuning. And so now you can do you can just hold down pedal 5 and then you can do Caden's Rag, you know? You could just do the string pulls and stuff. That's how it goes.
That is so weird.
So yeah, pedal 5 for the most part, I don't think it changes the bottom C to C sharp. I don't think it changes.
It does. It does these 2 bottom strings too.
Oh wait. Oh, maybe that's the one. Do you get an A?
It pulls this bottom one.
Maybe though it changes the whole thing. Maybe it changes the bottom to A6 or something.
Ricky, this is your guitar. I need you to help me.
But what's the bottom 2 strings? Just play them after you hit the pedal? Yeah, the bottom one.
So
that's how I do that. That's what I'm
That's
doing.
that
I'm alternating between the boo-wah and that one.
Dang.
See?
Oh, this is like So you're just going back and forth?
Pretty much,
Nerd. Gosh. I like that though. But that's so weird. That makes that one go down, but this one makes it go up. Wow.
Yeah, pedal steel, an amazing piece of machinery. You know?
I know,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And then what does this do? I'm over here just like, what does this do making these terrible noises in this apartment?
Well, all right. That's been about an hour. I gotta
You're
jump
good.
here shortly.
I'll be here. I'll be right here.
Yeah.
Have fun, Eddie. Thanks.
See if you can figure out a little bit more on that
Rudy Tutti. I'll have it down perfect next time you see me because I want to make
Rudy Tutti. Is that the one you're doing?
Or either we could do that one or we could do I don't know. Yep. I don't know.
That's the one you want to do. I see. Are you supposed to play that in the set or something?
No, I just wanted to learn that one because, well, yeah, my dad wants me to learn it.
Yeah.
He's like, you need.
I feel like that one was a better. That one was that the one you were transcribing? You were playing earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think yeah. Did I send you that one?
Yeah. Or no. Yeah.
I sent you like 2 Don Helms songs and then another one.
We're gonna transcribe, but send me some more things to transcribe. But send more like Kate and Roberts, Jerry Byrd stuff.
Long Gone Daddy's a good one.
And send me those 2 guys that you said that one guy sent you.
Zeke and Zeb Turner.
Zeke and Zeb Turner.
With a Z. Zeke and Zeb Turner. I forget which one's which, but yeah, one of them was like the front guy. I think they might have been both front guys, brothers. But Jerry Byrd recorded with them on occasion. Yeah, I mean, if you wanna really dig into some Jerry Byrd, go transcribe "Stealing the Blues."
Ooh.
That's got a lot of the same moves that we're doing. I mean, you know all the stuff that you need to do on that, and it's
look. Now I used to play with this bar, and now I'm so used to this one that holding this big one feels so weird again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to try out whatever works. If it sounds good, it is good. Let's see. But yeah, you can get in your C6 tuning. Let's bring it back real quick. You're down here. This is your first fret down here. So you're just doing your hammer-ons. You wanted to learn those, right?
Yeah.
And then you go. And that's why we like to play with these bullet nose bars. So
Now
I can play open, but I can play 2 strings. You playing with another finger pick now, or are you just trying them on?
I'm just trying it on.
And that's why we practice our rolls, right?
Yeah. Okay, that's just on the first.
And then you know this one. You already know that move. You can do it how Jerry might have done it. All right. Anyways, that's the beginning of it. The bridge is, kind of soupy. Good luck with it.
Yes.
Enjoy the stealing. Keep doing it. Don't stop. We got to keep this whole thing going.
I'm like addicted.
Well, good. We need more people that are, they wake up and then they just eat, sleep, and steel guitar, and that's it. So, all right, y'all. Peace.
Peace out, Eddie.
Oh, whoops! I forgot. I gotta hit this button.
I was like, he's still there.